parsha, in this week's parsha, as we all know, is Kriyas Yamsuf, the splitting of the Red Sea, the Reed Sea. As we know, Kodesh Baruch Hu, it says that the miracles which Kodesh Baruch Hu performed at the Red Sea, at the Reed Sea, were more tremendous. There's a difference of opinion, but the Chayra, there were fivefold as many miracles as there were at the Reed Sea, as there were in Mitzrayim. And we say that in the Haggadah. That it says that in Mitzrayim, the Egyptians recognized it was the finger of God, Etzva Elokimi. And then when it comes to the splitting of the sea, it says, Vayai says, Yad Hashem, the hand of Hashem. How many fingers are in the hand? 5. So the extent of the miracles that there were at the sea were 5 times as many as there were in Mitzrayim. Tremendous miracles. I had a major question. It sounded, I don't want to say heretic, but it sounds a little bit too probing, this question. On the one hand, the Kodesh Baruch Hu did tremendous miracles, absolutely tremendous miracles. Yet, before Kodesh Baruch Hu carried out those miracles, what happens to the Bnei Yisrael? Okay, Kodesh Baruch Hu tells them they were going out into the desert. Technically, if they kept going, the Egyptians wouldn't have touched them. Kodesh Baruch Hu tells them, backtrack, go back. And then he says, stay where you are, don't move, stay by the sea. And Kodesh Baruch Hu allowed the Egyptians to catch up with them, that the Jewish people were totally surrounded, trapped. The Egyptians on 3 sides and the sea on the other side. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu have to create such a situation that the Jews would be totally trapped? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is all-powerful. HaKadosh Baruch Hu can do anything. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu put the Jewish people in such a desperate situation? That the situation like that, there were absolutely no hope whatsoever, no hope situation, and then all of a sudden, totally unexpected. What happens? The sea splits. HaKadosh Baruch Hu shows his tremendous power. In fact, as I mentioned before, that Chazal say that this was the greatest manifestation of miracles, even though it was probably the revelation of the seeing God at Har Sinai, Mount Sinai was greater, but as far as the number of miracles that happened at one time, a manifestation of miracles, one time, splitting of the sea was the greatest ever. Certainly for now. As Hashem could be when Moshiach comes, we'll see greater miracles. That's what's Mashbel. Akoponim, certainly now, till so far in history, this has been the greatest show on earth. So why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu have to put the Jewish people in such a desperate situation first? And there's another question, which is in a similar vein. It says, what happened when the Jewish people were surrounded, they were stuck, they realized the Egyptians were on one side, the seas on the other side, they couldn't move. What did the Jewish people's reaction? Jewish people's reaction was, Vayitzaku el Hashem. They cried out to Hashem. So Rashi says, they took the craft of their forefathers. They took up the craft of their forefathers, just like their forefathers had prayed. Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov had prayed to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So too the Jewish people, this point of desperation, they didn't cry out to Superman or to any other of the idols which they themselves had been involved in Egypt. They cried out to Hashem. Yet, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers Moshe Rabbeinu, so obviously this first of all implies this crying out to Hashem is a positive thing. Yet, what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu say to Moshe Rabbeinu? When they actually said, he says, Ma titzak Eloi, what are you crying out to me? Daber b'nei Yisrael v'Yisrael. Speak to b'nei Yisrael and they should travel. One second. Kosh Baruch Hu is very pleased that the Jewish people are crying out to him, are praying, are davening to him. All of a sudden he says, Mati Tzakiloi, why are you crying out to me? What's going on? So I'd like to explain, following the idea which I mentioned in the newsletter, the Dvar Torah which I mentioned in the newsletter. I'll say it over here for those who didn't read the newsletter yet. Anyway, that part of the newsletter. Okay. Chazal, there are two Gemaras which are very interesting. One Gemara says, Kosher zivugin shel Adam kekriyas Yamsuf. Matching up couple, right, for matrimony, matching them up is hard as Kriyas Yamsuf. There's another Gemara saying, Kosher mezonosov shel Adam kekriyas Yamsuf. Person to earn a living, make parnasa, is as hard as Kriyas Yamsuf. Now what do we mean it's as hard as Kriyas Yamsuf? This sounds like that Kiviyachid, it was hard for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to carry out Kriyas Yamsuf. Now, what does that mean? Is anything hard for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do? HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world. There's nothing hard for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Kiviyachid, can do anything. So what does it mean it's hard? It's as hard as Kriyas Yamsuf. The truth is, Rashi interprets the word means hard. It doesn't really mean hard. It's like it's a metaphoric phrase. Yeah? Metaphor means HaKadosh Baruch Hu, everything HaKadosh Baruch Hu do anything. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it sound as if it would sound hard for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do it, meaning by the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, after creation, HaKadosh Baruch Hu set in motion what we call nature. Things happen naturally. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu changes the course of nature, HaKadosh Baruch Hu calls that hard. Not that it's actually hard for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do. HaKadosh Baruch Hu calls that hard to make us understand what this is a major change. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes a major change in nature. That's called hard. That's the way Rashi learns. But I want to learn a different shot. When a person makes parnasa, makes a living, whatever, what do we call it? Making a living. Right? It sounds as if, I've got to live, I need food, I need everything that I need for price, I'll make it. I'm making a living. Right? It means I go and get a job, I earn this and this amount of money, I have at the end of the money this amount, I have enough for food, and I'll have for everything, all my needs, and if I don't have enough, maybe my wife will work as well, and whatever, but altogether, I'm doing it. It's my work. I'm making a living. I think I actually told this story once. I was once at a Shiva house, and this is somebody from Chutzlar, and a number of people, actually happened to be South Africa, a number of people there, Kalabatim there were there from South Africa, and they were discussing with them, schmoozing one another, and he says, Eretz Yisrael is gewaldig except for one thing, making a living. Right? It's hard to make a living here. So I couldn't hold myself back, sometimes I can't keep my mouth shut. So he says, why it's hard to make a living? Because you are living. You don't need to make a living. You are living here. Eretz Yisrael melech. Anyway, going back to person thinks he's making a living. He can make it. It's his job.
They let you live?
Hopefully. Second idea. Similarly, meeting a person who wants to meet his future spouse. So what do? Finds out a nice girl. What's her background like? Whether she's similar character. Is she good for him or not? The person thinks, I'll check into it. I'll do all the working out. I'll meet her a few times, see if she's good. Not good. But it's right. It's me. I'm the one who's going to make the decision. I'm the one who's going to decide whether this girl is good for me. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells you, if you go with that attitude, and you go into it, it's me. I'm doing it. I'm making a living. I'm going to find my spouse. Kosher. It's going to be really difficult. As the Gemara says, Gemara Shabbos, which is a certain matronisa, a Roman noblewoman, asked Rabbi Akiva, I understand that God created the world. Okay? But since he created the world, what's he doing now? Right? He created the world then. What's he doing now? So Kiva answered, you know what? He's making matches. He's matching up boys and girls to get married. So the Matronisa, this Roman noblewoman, said to him, that's what he's doing. That's a job. I can do that job, no problem. So she took, she had I don't know how many servants and maidservants, and she said, okay, you go with you, you go with you. You looked pretty much, obviously she didn't do it out of cheshbon, you know. She thought this one's fitting for this one, this one fitting. Anyway, matched them all up. What was the next morning? One had a black eye, the other one had two black eyes, the other one had a broken arm, the other one had a pulled leg. Kids, they were each of them were, as they say anything, Simcha v'Sasen, right? Freilich, okay? So the Roman nobleman came back to him, and says, now I understand, you're right. Sounds very strange, Gemara, but what's pshat? So, what's pshat in the Chazal is as follows. A person goes into the attitude to earning his living, or finding his wife, right? And he thinks, it's me, I'm doing it. And he's going to find it very, very hard. Why? Because be'etzem, these things are Kadosh Baruch Hu, really himself is doing everything. It's Kadosh Baruch Hu makes like a charade, as if we, because we have to do our hishtadlus, we've got to go to work, we've got to ostensibly show that we are actually doing something to earn our living, but the Maisa, the Yesod is that everything comes from Hashem. And why is that Kriyas Yamsuf? Because Kriyas Yamsuf was probably the one time in history, as I said before, when Kadosh Baruch Hu showed that he had total control of creation. It says, Rasa Shivcha Alayam. Even a maidservant saw at the crossing, at the splitting of the sea, Masha lo roya Yecheskel ben Buzi. Yecheskel ben Buzi was one of the greatest prophets, Prophet Yecheskel. And he said he had the revelation of Ma'aseh Merkava. He saw the heavens opening, and he saw what was going on in Shemayim. Yet, even a lowly maidservant had a clearer revelation of what HaKadosh Baruch Hu was, of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's abilities, than Cheskel ben Buzi. What's the raya? Because every shifra, anybody who was by Kriyas Yamsuf said, Zeh Keli Banvei. They could point. But the point to HaKadosh, wherever it says the Pasuk uses the term Zeh, it means this, I can see it. It's visual. Right? Zeh Keli Banvei. Every shifra could say Zeh. That means anybody who was present at Kriyas Yamsuf had absolutely no sophic whatsoever, no doubt whatsoever, Kadosh Baruch Hu is in full control of the whole show. So therefore, if a person understands that earning his living or finding a wife, right, is Kriyas Yamsuf, it's like Kriyas Yamsuf, meaning only HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the sole one in charge. I may have to do my little bit to show that I have to do my little bit, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu is actually showing everything. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has absolute control of it, and it's really HaKadosh Baruch Hu's domain himself, not us doing anything. If a person realizes it's Kriyas Yamsuf, then he'll be successful. But if he doesn't, he thinks it's me, then it's going to be kosher. It's going to be hard. It means kosher is going on the person, not on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So you have to read it. Mizonos of Shaladam, kosher mizonos of Shaladam, unless, if he understands, he's got to understand it's Kriyas Yamsuf. It's like Kriyas Yamsuf. You realize that Kriyas Yamsuf, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the sole mover, the sole person who's controlling everything, then he'll be successful. So how do you get? Let's go back to our original question. Why does HaKadosh Baruch Hu put us with the back against the wall before HaKadosh Baruch Hu did those tremendous nisim? So I'll give you a little marshal. I don't know, I certainly can't do it. You know there's a Rubik's Cube, right? Right? Now my kid, he's now 12 or whatever, he's an expert. He can do it in about 30 seconds. Okay? Now, so if I've never seen anybody doing a Rubik's Cube, and I see him say, no, okay, Israel, go and do this Rubik's Cube. Oh, that's gewaldig, fine. Okay. But do I really appreciate the chokhmah behind it? I think, okay, if I put my mind to it for half a minute, I'll also be able to do the same thing myself. But when I try and do it myself, and I see, oh boy, and say, what did you do here? You know what, I tried, after already 20 minutes, I haven't got past the first row. Right? So I appreciate, well, he's done something pretty good. Kosh Baruch Hu had to put Klal Yisrael in a situation to think, well, you think you can do something here, right? You know how to get yourself out of the situation? Put you a little bit further back against the wall. Can you think you can get out of the situation? Well, maybe. Get you put a bit back against the wall. Kosh Baruch Hu stuck them in that situation, mamish back against the wall. Kosh Baruch Hu, there's no hope! What are we going to do? Vayitzaku el Hashem. They realized, only Hashem can get this out of this. Oh, now's the point. You realize fully that's Hashem. Only Hashem's running it. Only Hashem can help you here. Then Kosh Baruch Hu. And that was the point. When Klal Yisrael had full, absolute belief in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, absolute trust, we're talking HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that was the point HaKadosh Baruch Hu did Kriyas Yamsuf. What's the chat when HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Mati tzak Eloi, why are you crying out to me? So I thought an interesting idea. The term Ma generally means, what are you crying out to me? The Chayre should have said, Lama titzak Eloi. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu was complaining to them, like say, Lama titzak Eloi, why? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying another point. We find Moshe Rabbeinu in Parshas Eikev. He said to Klal Yisrael, Ma Hashem lekecha derish mimcha. What does HaKadosh Baruch Hu want of you? And Chazal learn that from them. There, right? Kiyim liyira. All HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants is to fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Chazal learn out from there that all a person has to really do is have Yirah Shemayim. Everything else will follow on from there. So what did Moshe Rabbeinu say? Ma Hashem lekecha. What is HaKadosh Baruch Hu asking of you? I'm only asking, that's all I'm asking of you. Ma, nothing, just a simple thing. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu said. Ma titzak Eloi. And in fact, the Targum says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, listen, you've cried out to me, I've answered your prayers. What does that mean? All I wanted from you is ma titzak. That's all I wanted from you. You know, I was putting you back against the wall. You know what I wanted? That's what I wanted from you. Ma titzak. Eloi. That's all I wanted from you, that you should cry out to me. HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought the good. I just want to end off with a little meiser, just a short meiser. This union of that HaKadosh Baruch Hu provides for, in other words, a person thinks he's doing everything himself. His parnasa, he has to realize everything's from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's another chazal which actually fits in with that, which HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Gemara says that what a person's going to earn, what a person's going to have for his sustenance during the year is fixed from one Rosh Hashanah to the next. However, the Gemara says, if a person does it chutz me'etzos bonov l'talmud Torah, or chutz me'etzos Shabbos v'Yom Tov, which the Farshim explain means, be'etzem, if a person is giving to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, not he's taking the money for himself, he's taking the food for himself, his own thing, but he's giving to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu, listen, you don't want the money for yourself, you want the money for me to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu better, for doing for a Dvar Mitzvah. Oh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that doesn't come into the Cheshbon. That's out of the Cheshbon. Well, you want need for your own sustenance, then you've got to have your own merits. That's fixed from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah according to a person, how a person prays to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and how he deserves, what he's deserving. But if a person gives to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he's doing a Dvar Mitzvah, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, the money for that's outside the Cheshbon. Just telling a little story, a very cute story. There was a bocher, he was actually a chosin, who opportunity came before him to do a certain Dvar Mitzvah. And really, he didn't have any money for it. So he says, listen, he knew this Gemara, he says, you know what, I'm going to do the mitzvah anyway, and I'll hope HaKadosh Baruch Hu will provide. Anyway, so he went ahead, and he borrowed money, whatever, to do it, and he went ahead and did the mitzvah. The cost of doing the mitzvah came out to 388 shekel and 60 agorot. He went together with him, with two other people, I have such a strange figure. Anyway, it cost 388 shekel and 60 agorot. That was his share, which he had to pay. Okay? The following few days later, his color Now his fiancée sent him a present of a wallet, a new wallet. So listen, husband needs a wallet, you know, needs a wallet. Anyway, inside, she put in, as a treasure note, something to first to fill the wallet, every denomination of shkolim. 1 200, 1 100 note, 1 50 shekel note, 1 20 shekel note, 1 10 shekel coin, 1 5 shekel coin, 1 2 shekel coin, 1 shekel coin, 1 half shekel coin, and 1 10 agorot. What does that all come to? 200 shekel, plus another 100 is 300. Another 50 is 350. Another 20 is 370. 10 shekel, 380. Another 5 shekel, 385. Another 2, 387. Another shekel, 388. Another half a shekel is 388.50. And another 10 agorot, 388.60. God owed him his money back. Kosh Baruch Hu provided for him. Okay, Bez Hashem. We have bitochen HaKosh Baruch Hu. Kosh Baruch Hu will provide us for everything.
Thanks for everybody. Thanks everybody.
Thank you, Yoni.
Thank you, Yoni. Great thing. Doing all this was great, by the way.
You want to say something about your... Oh, another one?
Yeah, my father was, as I was talking to them, he was a real ballet tshuva. He grew up, as I said, poor in Cleveland, Ohio. He was born there and grew up poor there, and the Holocaust very affected him. He lost all his relatives except for his mother and father, and he was devastated. I guess that and events in life and all that. Get into it. Devastated him, and it really affected him. But towards the end of his life, he started to come back to Torah and mitzvahs, to Rabbi Danziger. I don't know if anyone knows him. He was Rav of Mashalu Parkway there in Riverdale, where we lived, and he was. So my father used to go there a lot, and also learn with another guy. His name's Manny. He moved to Har Nochi, and it was, and slowly but surely, my father came back to Judaism at the last minute of his life. He had this prayer book, and what do you think it was? This Torah-loving prayer book, Orthodox prayer book, the Beer Gum Sitter, and it was really something. He just came back and all that, and gave me a bracha, and my wife a bracha. We weren't married yet, but he gave us a bracha, and also to move to Eretz Yisrael. It was quite something, and when I come here and I study Torah and all that, and I sometimes think of my father, and he's done, how he really came back, really made lots of efforts, and we should all have a lot of batzlacha and efforts in Torah study, and life, and doing mitzvahs, and that sort of thing.
Amen.
The story.